Good evening. Welcome to the Tewksbury Conservation Meeting of October 23rd, 2019. We have, first thing on the agenda is approval of the minutes from September 4th. I have a motion to approve it.
I move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Approve of the minutes of September 18th.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Approve of minutes of October 9th, 2019.
So moved.
They're not ready yet.
Never mind, they're not ready yet, so we don't, I will skip that one. Okay, moving on. Agenda item A. The applicant, the notice of intent of Richard Montori, Town Manager, 984 Main Street, map lot 47, 279, 47-80, 48-81, and 48-93, DOP 305-1073. The applicant is requesting a continuance to November 6th. Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. All right, public hearing, notice of intent, John Fernaros, ACC Realty, 1037 North Street, and 1547, 1553, 1563 Andover Street, map 39, lot 45 to 48, DEP number 3051077. The applicant is also requesting a continuance to November 6th. Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Item C, public hearing, notice of intent, Wamerset Lane LLC, 434 Main Street, map 22, lot 69, DEP 3051091. Anyone here for that? Okay.
Good evening.
Could you state your name for the record?
Yes, Bill Hall with Civil Design Consultants,
Okay.
representing Wamerset Lanes LLC for this notice of intent. So what we have before you is a notice of intent for Wamerset Lanes. Basically what had happened is they originally got a permit to build the building, and on the plan, we're looking at the rear portion of the building. So this is to the north, there's a railroad bed up there, that's the rear property line. And then to the south is the front of the building. It's not shown on this plan. What we have is the grading above and the layout below to show up parking. During construction, they had built this gravel parking area in the back. They went and they got a certificate of compliance on it, and now they're looking to improve that area some more. So the plan before you is to pave the rear portion. There are wetlands that are located to the east, and this is the 25-foot buffer, the 50-foot buffer, and the 100-foot buffer shown on the plan. And in order to control the runoff and infiltrate stormwater flows, we're proposing this infiltration bed that is outside the buffer zone. There is a catch basin that has a hydrodynamic separator in it that is located within the buffer zone. And then the only other impacts that are within the buffer zone are an overflow that comes out near an existing retaining wall. And then this portion of buffer zone was previously gravel that's going to be removed and replaced with grass, and a portion of fence that's going to extend down to the existing riprap that's located within the buffer zone. We were before the planning board on Monday to modify the special permit. They voted to approve that. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
Stefania, have you been down there?
Yes.
And any issues?
No, I don't have any issues. The only thing I will note is that I know the town engineer had some issues. I don't think that it's anything that this board needs to be concerned about, but it's just something to note. But I don't have any issues related to conservation.
Any questions from any board members?
I'm good.
Yeah, that looks fine to me, because you're within, the retaining wall is right at the 25-foot, right?
Correct.
All right, I have no issues with this. And this is a public hearing. Would anybody be interested in speaking? Seeing none, what is the pleasure of the board? Oh, we got a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Now what is the pleasure of the board?
You want to make a motion?
We're going to need to entertain a motion to approve the notice of intent for 434 Main Street, map 22, lot 69. No, that's, yeah. You have a DEP number, correct? Oh, yeah,
Yes.
okay. Map 22, lot 69, DEP number 3051091. Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Now, what's next? Okay, next on the agenda is item D, abbreviated in ANRAD for Richard Montori, Town Manager, Town of Tewksbury, 135 Pleasant Street. Map 47, Lot 40, DEP number 3051097. This is continued from October 9th, 2019. And before we go into this continuance, I just want to inform everybody, people in the audience, we are to discuss, what we are discussing tonight is not the structure, the building, roads. We are just determining where the wetland delineations are. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
Okay, now, gentlemen, can you introduce yourself for the record, please?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Good evening. Peter Collins with CBRE, acting as the owner's project manager on behalf of the building committee for the project.
Okay.
Grant Griffith from Flansburgh Architects. Apologize for the loudness.
Excuse me, Bill Maher, niche engineering, civil engineering consultant, and also the permitting consultant.
Okay, so where are we at with this as of now? I know that we were sending out Bill Emanuel out there, and we do have letters from him.
Correct. We met with the commission 2 weeks ago. Tonight, after that hearing, it was asked that a peer review be performed for the wetland delineation, and Bill Manuel was selected. We did meet with Bill out at the site on Friday, and between it was Bill, Stefania, Peter Collins, and myself, we walked the sites, the entire length of the site where there were wetlands, not only the bordering vegetated wetlands along the rear and west of the property, but also the isolated vernal pool that's located about in the middle of the fields near Monroe Circle on the northern portion of the site. So as a result of those wetland delineations, there were 2 areas that the bill had asked to be reconsidered for wetland flag removals. And just In this location here to the west of the existing Ryan School, there is a storm drainage basin. And from that basin, there is an outfall with a discharge pipe that discharges the overflow of stormwater into the wetlands here. Previously, there was delineated an area, a finger area of wetlands that was originally delineated back in June and July of this year. After Bill had reviewed it, he had indicated that he would not have flagged those wetland areas there because they were a direct result of the detention basin, which was a man-made feature constructed after 1996 and is not applicable to the wetland delineations. And so we have removed that finger that was here. And the only other area that I can think of that was discussed about the middle of the parking lot on the southwest side of the Ryan School, there's a dirt path in between two wetland areas. These wetland areas are connected by a corrugated metal pipe, a drain pipe, and the wetlands on the southerly side were not flagged, and they're just noted as being approximate. But in this area, we're not proposing to do any work as part of the school project. And we just prefer just to, are asking the board just to leave them as delineated on this plan.
Okay. I had read Bill Emanuel's letter there, and the Vernal Pool, did he change any of that?
No, we did not. The flagging is still the same as it was when we had originally submitted to the board.
Okay.
And when we walked the site on Friday, none of that flagging has changed or will change.
Stefan, you have any issues?
No, I have a few things that we should just, he pointed out in his review letter that we should just think about for the ORAD, if we are to issue one today. So he wanted to note that the bordering and isolated vegetated wetland flags, the bank flags, and riverfront area shown on the latest plan dated October 22nd, 2019 are correctly marked. So the ORAD should state there is no confirmation of the wetland boundary or buffer zone lines beyond flag 95, and that's because that's off property, so those were not confirmed. He agrees with the determination that the stormwater basin is not considered a wetland. The commission will have to decide about accepting the length of the wetland line marked as approximate near wetland flags 46 and 47, and that's what he was just mentioning. Bill had mentioned he's comfortable saying it appears accurate, but just thought that should be the commission's determination. And then he did mention that the ORAD should specify the limit of bordering land subject to flooding. Flooding is elevation 115. I don't know if we wanted to do that for this application. I know we mentioned last time we weren't looking to confirm any bordering land subject to flooding. So I would leave that up to the applicant.
Yeah, no, we're fine with that because we do intend to file a LOMA once we receive the ORAD and submit that documentation to FEMA to alter the wetland delineation based on the contour elevation of 115 on the site compared to what FEMA had indicated a few years ago on their latest FEMA map.
Any questions from the audience? Go right ahead, sir.
My name's Greg Mann, 6 Monroe Circle. I'm on a butter there. I have a question about the Vernal Pool. I think a statement was made last time, but I want to confirm it. What's the the footage that you do, that you extend vernal pools out, is it 200 feet?
You say the buffer around?
Yes, the buffer around the pool? So it's 200 feet.
Correct.
I believe that by extending it out from the center of the pool, so it would be a radius of 100 feet around the pool?
That,
Yeah, what do you mean? Can you just clarify?
As the pool as the center of a circle, would it be, say, that there's a 100-foot radius around that we cannot be built on or do anything to?
No. So that just means that from each of the flags that are out there that delineates that vernal pool,
Yes.
there's a 200-foot buffer zone, meaning that 200 feet from that is jurisdiction to the Tewksbury Conservation Commission. It does not mean that you can't do anything. It just means that it would need to be reviewed by this board.
Okay.
So that's all that would mean.
Because I believe that the extending 100 feet out that's where they're going to be putting their roadway right now.
I haven't seen any plans for the schools, and like I said earlier, we're just here to determine.
Well, that's what I'm just, I mean, it is wetlands, I'm just, so you are, the 200-foot is what you consider for vernal pool?
Correct.
That's under your jurisdiction?
Right.
Okay. The other thing, I keep on seeing these plans, I keep on stipulating that there is standing water there. There is a pond on this particular site, and they keep on calling it wetlands, and it's a pond. I would think that you would treat a pond different than wetlands, would you?
It would be considered it's within the bordering vegetated wetland, and a bordering vegetated wetland is a protected wetland resource area under the Wetlands Protection Act. So it wouldn't be treated really any differently when it comes to looking at the Wetlands Protection Act and making sure that they're following all of those regulations.
Okay. Because I would assume that if you had a pond, it wouldn't be called wetlands, it would be a pond, and it is on the bottom next to their planned site, where the bottom, let me see, what would that be? Southwest corner. And I every time I see one of these charts, they don't carry it, they don't have it there.
But the resource area that Greg is mentioning is in this area of the site, which is inside the wetland delineation that was performed. So, so that's defined. Mention the wetland flags. Define the boundary, and they're outside the ponds. That is there. So.
Any comments on that, Stefania?
No? I don't think there's anything to add.
I believe that's it for me right now. Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anybody else that would like to speak? Seeing none? What is the pleasure of the board? Board members, actually, I don't want to close. Board members, do you have any questions?
No, I'm good. I'm good also.
Okay. My question is, I read Bill's letter. In that vernal pool, we could have that technically as a certified vernal pool? So we can? All right, that's the only question I had, because last week I think I asked the same question and we couldn't.
Well, I'm not a wetland scientist, but, so I'm just going by what Bill is saying in his letter.
Right. What's your feeling on that, Stefania?
On the vernal pool?
On whether we have it certified or not certified? I mean, I really don't think it's going to make that much of a difference at this time.
So in Tewksbury, even a potential vernal pool is protected as a vernal pool. So it wouldn't make as much of a difference as if we were in another town and we didn't have a bylaw that protected even,
That was basically what I was trying to get at, because it was kind of confusing reading
Yeah.
the letter, you know?
it could definitely be certified. It is a process, so it would be something that I think
Right.
the town would have to take on. But
Okay, now we're at the point where we need a motion to close the public hearing since nobody else wants to speak.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Now, in regards to the ANRAD, we're going to need a motion that includes, we're not including this last one, right? Or are we? I thought we
I just want to clarify, so do you want us to include the clarification on the bordering land subject to flooding elevation, or leave it out?
I'll leave it to the board, whatever they're, whether to add in the 115, because that is essentially what we're going after with the Loma. And it would probably help if the commission, board members, would approve that delineation mark as well.
According to Bill's review, so he would recommend that the permit would determine that the limit of the bordering land subject to flooding is consistent with the established FEMA base flood elevation, which is elevation 115. So that's his recommendation.
Okay, I think I agree with him on that. So we want to include this, this, and this. So we need a motion to approve the ANRAD for Richard Montori, Town of Tewksbury, 135 Pleasant Street, map 47, lot 40, DEP number 3051097. In that motion, the border in isolated vegetative wetlands, bank, flags, and riverfront areas shown on the latest plan dated October 22nd, 2019 are correctly marked. The ORAD should state there is no confirmation of the wetland boundary or buffer zone lines beyond flag 95, which is outside the property line, correct? Okay. And the ORAD should specify a limit of the BLSF is the elevation of 115. Check with, okay, what's this, NAV 88 datum? Okay, going to have a motion to that effect.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion, we have it second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, what's next on this thing? Okay, we're on another public hearing. Item E, abbreviated notice of resource and delineation for
Okay, thank you.
Kazjayan Enterprises LLC, 2512 Main Street, map 94, lot 65, DEP number pending.
Good evening, Jim Hanley with Civil Design Consultants. Kazjayan Enterprises, just for the record. So, we're in front of you tonight to simply request we follow the NRAD. I think Stefani went out, she walked the site, just kind of give you an idea where it is. So 2512 Main Street, down on the south side of town. There's an existing two-story building. It's currently used as a convenience/liquor store. We have 20, 25 parking spaces-ish in this general area, as well as kind of an excavated out volleyball court, sand volleyball court that's closer to the wetlands. We've only got 13-ish wetland flags there, and this is our first step in developing a plan to eventually replace the store. But because the site's so small and so tight, we wanted to come to you guys first and make sure that the wetland line that was delineated by Norse Environmental met your standards and needs.
Okay, Stefan, you have any issues?
No big issues to say. I will just note that the ANRAD applications typically go out to review by an outside consultant. This hasn't been done yet. I did go out to the site. I walked the line. It does follow the existing vegetation line for the most part. It's a fairly small line, but I just want to leave it up to the Conservation Commission to decide if they would like this to go out to peer review. Since it is an ANRAD, it would be locking in the wetland lines. I also wanted to note that I was looking at the imagery online, and there is a volleyball court that appears between 2014 and 2017. I don't believe it was permitted. I'm not really sure what it took to put that in, but I just wanted to make a note. I didn't see a DEP number. I don't know if you saw one.
I don't know.
Okay. And then the extra line on the plan, were you going to submit new plans?
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
give you a new plan on that. So Stefani and I spoke, I called her earlier today just to kind of make sure that we had everything lined up. She pointed out that looks like we just kind of had an extra line on my plan right here for some reason. So we'll modify, we'll send that in. What I can say about the wetland line is very well defined with the vegetation in the lawn area. Meet the wetland line, it's really well defined. But you know, whether you send that out to manual to review or another consultant, obviously that's up to you. But having walked it, looked at it, looks pretty obvious when you're out there.
This is a public hearing. Would anybody like to speak on it? Seeing none. Board members, any questions?
I don't have any questions at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, no, sir, okay.
Stefan, I believe that we should send this out. If we're doing this for all other projects, I think that we should send this out as well.
Okay.
Other than that, I have no questions. And there's nothing we can do tonight because you don't have your DEP number or anything.
Yeah, that's fine. We still haven't submitted with planning. We have a pretty good working plan. We're going to sit down and do a preliminary IDR. I think that's in a couple of weeks. So we won't lose any time. So we're fine right here.
Okay, with that being said, can I have a motion continue? And that would be, let me see, which one are we on here?
November 6th?
Okay. Need a motion to continue. Can you say it for me? I can't pronounce it, because...
Oh, Kazanjian, yes.
Okay, Kazanjian Enterprises LLC, 2512 Main Street, map 94, lot 65, DEP number pending. Can I have a motion to continue to
November 6th?
November 6th?
I move. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you, sir.
Just as a question that I want to throw out there, so this is a tough little challenging site for us in that we don't have a lot of area. We have a wetland. There's an existing store, and we're looking at a couple of different design options to try to figure out what fits best with everything, with your concern, as well as with building and zoning and planning and all this. Would it be possible at that next meeting to just have a brief conversation about, you know, two options? Would that be something the commission would entertain? I haven't done that, I don't think, in front of you guys ever, but I think in this case, it might be kind of helpful.
I think we can under new business.
Okay,
instead of during the hearing.
okay.
I don't want to get people confused.
Yeah, no,
You know?
understood.
So under new business, we can probably have a conversation
Okay.
in that regards.
Okay,
All right.
all right, great,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Okay. Next on the agenda, enforcement order update. Ooh,
Is this the correct room about the hearing for the Main Street, near Tanglewood, Stonebridge Crossing, the veterans housing?
It
no.
must be in the other room.
I don't know what's in the other
There
room.
is a meeting going on in the other room. Oh, right out this door. Yep,
Sorry.
down on the left.
Okay, next on the agenda is item F, enforcement order update, Bernard and Susan McInerney, 1099 Main Street, map 61, lot 12. I think we're gonna have an issue with this. I think we're gonna have to continue this update because I have to recuse myself from this conversation, and Mr. Robacher was not here or present. You know, so what do you think? I mean, because now you're gonna be sit here, and it's gonna be Steve, it's still only gonna be two people,
Right.
you know?
I can look into that, where it's not really a public hearing and we're not issuing any permits. I don't think it would be an issue for Steve to sit in on it,
Okay.
but I would have to look into it.
Right.
We'll have to figure out something eventually,
Well,
because,
yeah, because, and like I said,
Yeah.
I recused myself from that, I'm gonna have to recuse myself from that again.
do we want to
I would
just
bring
continue?
it up in the next meeting.
Okay. All right.
Okay, next on is old business, any old business, gentlemen? Oh, none? Stefania?
Nope,
New business?
nothing.
Not here. No administrative report, okay. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we adjourn. Good evening.